This is a story you got to pay attention to. German authorities arrested 3 Syrians earlier today on suspicion they were planning a terror attack in Dusseldorf. The men planned allegedly to use 2 suicide bombers as other members of their terror cell would use guns and explosives in an attempt to kill as many civilians and cause as many casualties as possible. Joining me now, Carl Higbie and Cathy to discuss this. Carl has some experience with these kinds of things. You're a former Navy SEAL. The Germans stopped it this time, but right. These people, 2 of them, actually came from Syria in 2014. I mean, does this expose what we were just talking about before the commercial break, the refugee crisis, that ISIS is infiltrating some of these refugees?
100%. And you look at these people who are coming over, it's like there are a lot of people over there, not just Muslims, but there's Christians and things like that in this refugee crisis. But look at who's coming over. America accepted 1,030 refugees last month. 2 of them were Christian. So we need to examine the fact that you're not going to be able to stop them all, and it's only a matter of time before it starts happening. Europe needs to get their acting together.
Cathy, I mean, when you hear about people in Germany, of all the countries, if you're going to land in Europe, I mean, it's the largest economy, it's got an incredible welfare state. Why would somebody, unless they're a religious, ideological fanatic, do something like this?
Well, I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? But the reality is, as Carl said, is that, you know, terror is on the rise significantly. The number of attacks, and what's more concerning is the number of fatalities have gone up about 80% in the last couple of years. So it's not only the number of attacks, but the people harmed is just enormous. And so when you look at the problems of a place like Germany and the fact that they were able to thwart, that's a good thing. We've thwarted, the estimates are somewhere 60, 70 attacks in the last couple of years, but there's still so much more, as you pointed out, to be done.
And yet you've got a Western country, Germany, with citizens who are plotting against, I don't know if these men were citizens, clearly, because they came from Syria, but they want to kill the people who are allegedly trying to help them. This makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, because they're not fleeing. They're invading. And the thing we need to look at here is they have been at the, you know, a part of the Islamic culture has been trying to execute this caliphate since 700 AD. Okay, It's not hidden anywhere. It's out in the open. We need to understand that that is the goal of not all Muslims, but some Muslims want to do that.
So the Germans stopped at this time, but I mean, how many of these might be, these sleeper cells are there apparently?
Oh, sure, and they're in this country, absolutely. And so it's going to take great cooperation internationally, and the absence of foreign policy that we've had does put us more at risk. That's why the foreign policy, a clear one, is so important, because it's not just about ourselves. It's about the rest of the world and how it impacts us and us them.
Is it time for the United States, and this is politically incorrect, we have a policy against profiling, but is it time to start profiling?
Let's fight this war intelligently. If that means profiling, yes. No 90-year-old Christian women have been blowing up planes or flying planes into buildings. Stop stopping them by the TSA and checking their underwear.
Right, and let's be very clear. Profiling is not a dirty word. Doctors profile. When you go to...
Well, the Europeans profile, the Israelis profile.
But even in the sense of what it is, when you go to the doctor, you are not only getting an exam, they are deciding what to decipher from what you share about your ailment. They are profiling. Marketing companies profile you to serve you better. It's not always a bad thing.
So I have to end there, but the key is that the Germans stopped it this time. Hopefully, they will prevent future attacks.